And that's why for me, it's really excited to be as a coach, as a business coach, to be able to develop more Asian coaches and consultants, or, BIPOC BIPOC coaches and consultants, because again, give me the options, or are there more choices? And what I've experienced, for particularly as an Asian American entrepreneur, is, and having also hired mostly white coaches in my journey of entrepreneurship, is that I also experience like a disconnect. Tactically could tell me how to do this, right? I learned a lot operationally about how do I create a successful business from being mentored by these coaches, right? But one example, for instance, in terms of where I was really struggling, was this idea of just go all in, right? Like, if you didn't have another job, or if you didn't quit, like you could, this would take off. And maybe, yeah, and I do have that experience, yes, because I 100% went into my business when I got furloughed from my last consultancy. But I think being told that at the time there's a couple things that happened for me. One was my money mindset was very much associated with how my parents operated, right? They both worked two jobs when I was growing up. So for some time, I was kind of modeling them, like, I have to grind in order to be successful. I have to. So this kind of what felt like flighty at the time, just response of like, oh, you don't have to work that hard, self-care and all this. I was like, what are you talking about? My immigrant parents didn't talk about self-care or have self-care, and like that's like a privilege and a benefit or whatnot. And now I think differently about that. But I think I was very resistant to that, like in the beginning, when some of my white coaches were just like, go ahead, dive in head first. You don't have to have another job, and don't worry about, like, the money will just come. And no, I didn't see that, because I didn't see that growing up. I saw quite the opposite. So it was really hard for me to believe it. And I think it's still hard to believe for folks who haven't done it. But I think when I'm sharing, that's where my mindset was with my Asian clients. I think there's more trust, because they're like, oh, she gets she knows where I'm coming from. So she came from the same background, and she still was able to develop a mindset that's different and that's more abundant, right? And I think that just comfort in saying, oh, we do come from a similar place and you can still overcome it, I think allows you to see that as an actual viable option, right? An actual outcome.